Okay, good. All right, what's up, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble? I'm going to try something new tonight, which is rather than making a bunch of videos, I'm going to focus on a theme and call it News from 5D. So the theme for tonight is something, it's like the singularity basically, but I called it, does anyone else feel like reality is slipping through our fingers? Because I feel that a lot. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through a bunch of tweets and clips and whatever, and just kind of think through a lot of these ideas. This is potentially the biggest thing going on Earth right now, right? And so I feel like I just want to focus in, and I also think rather than 13-minute tack, which is already like too long compared to TikTok, let's just stop bullshitting. I'm a long-winded guy. I go on for 30, 40 minutes or an hour, and just put it on in the background like I do with Tim Dillon, and take it or leave it. So this is News from 5D. I'm Otis 5D. Tonight's News from 5D is called Does Anyone Else Feel Like Reality is Slipping Through Our Fingers? Here we go.
News from 5D with Otis 5D.
All right, so we're just going to start off in the deep end with John Robb. John Robb is so goated, and I have such bad bandwidth that it can't even download his profile photo, as you can see. Anyway, he quote tweets Elon Musk. If you've heard of him, he's an entrepreneur, originally from South Africa, but then to Silicon Valley, and now an international man of mystery and baby mamas. And Elon tweeted today, "We are on the event horizon of the singularity." Now, I strongly agree with this. I strongly agree with this. And then here's what John Robb has to say. John Robb writes something called the Global Gorillas Report. I think it's a monthly newsletter. You can subscribe to him on Patreon. He's extremely goated. He's one of the best sort of like macro trend, geopolitics, etc., future of humanity, technology forecasters for 20 plus years. So here's what he says. Quote, he quotes his own newsletter, as he is wont to do, and says, "We live in a world without a future. It's not that we don't have a future. It's that technological change and the complexity, novelty, uncertainty, and disruption it has unleashed make it nearly impossible to envision the future with any clarity. It's time to admit we've already passed the event horizon of a technological singularity." So what's good about this, and I'm glad that I'm going to mention that, is that this is from his January newsletter, and now here we are in February. John Robb is often like this. He's often just ahead of the curve on things, and things he talks about later, pop into the mainstream. He's one of the the real player characters on this dimension we currently inhabit. So the first thing I want to just say about this is, I titled this, "Does Anyone Else Feel Like Reality is Slipping Through Our Fingers?" I want to give a kind of random but, somewhat grounded anecdote that ties into both Elon and John Robb and the idea of reality slipping through our fingers. So I have been working on some courses in the health, grifting industry, in mobility and DIY acupuncture. So you can go to my website and check those out. And this is not a plug, but it's conveniently is at the same time. And so, I've been working on the copywriting for a while and doing a bunch of, first drafts and stream of consciousness stuff. And I just decided to just throw it all into Grok and ask Grok for help. This is Grok 3, so it's, very recent that I did this. And over the course of, I'd say about 8 or 10 thinking prompts, that's like one of the deep modes that Grok 3 has, it produced better copywriting. It's not yet on my website at the time of this recording, because I'm a lazy procrastinator who would fail Elon's "what did you get done this week" test. But nevertheless, the output was, I would say, better than any human I have personally worked with. I can't tell you if that's a high bar or a low bar, but I like to think that it's a relatively high bar. And so my point really is that if you think about it logically, it was better that I procrastinated and waited to do this work than to struggle at it a month ago when Claude 3.5 and GPT-4o and GPT-o1 and Grok 2 and even DeepSeek R1, like they weren't cutting the mustard, and now Grok is. And so the idea here is like, I'll make another anecdote. Many years ago, I read a book about the rise of Google. Maybe it's called The Google Story. I don't remember what the book was called. It had their logo on the cover. Anyway, the point is that it talked about in the book that they weren't really interested in doing marketing much early on, because their thesis is that the longer it took people to find them, the better, because they would have had time to iterate on the search engine. So that's like such a it's not contrarian. What is it? Like an unorthodox, a heterodox way of thinking that like, nah, bro, they'll find us eventually, and the longer it takes, the better, because it's just, the thing's just getting better and better. So it's like, the longer it takes me to start work, the better, because the AI will be better at that time. So it's almost like I'm recreating how Ray Kurzweil came up with the whole singularity idea from first principles, meaning he was an inventor, Kurzweil synthesizer, shout out to Stevie Wonder, who knows if he's actually blind, Shaquille O'Neal knows. And he was thinking, he, as an inventor, he had all these ideas for inventions, and he was like, when should I start them? And so he started mapping technological progress and, got something akin to Moore's Law, this doubling every 12 to 24 months. And depending on like what technological power, computing power, whatever word you want to use, was available, that he would be like, okay, this invention is going to take 3 years to develop. And so if I start it 3 years before the technological power is there, by the time the technological power comes online, the invention will be ready. Very ingenious. Like, Ray Kurzweil is a very ingenious guy, if nothing else. I mean, his wig and his suspenders, a little questionable, but, whatever. And, I'm realizing that as a creative, I need to be thinking somewhat similarly about when I double down on various projects, meaning like, okay, so the AI is this good now. So now it can handle a lot of things in the realm of stuff like copywriting, etc., and coding. But maybe 6 months from now, it can start doing, let's just say intros comes to mind, some kind of like what you would typically do in After Effects or something, some kind of like motion graphics intro. And then, a year or two from now, maybe it obsoletes. Like, I can just record this long video and it cuts it up and uploads it for me. Now, I know Opus Clip exists. I know that there are things like this, but in my experience, it's still a lot of work to like upload it, go through it, download the videos, or share them. It's just all like, if it just do it for me, that'd be a lot better, right? And so, point being, like, this is the kind of thing that I've been obsessed with the singularity since 1999 when I read The Age of Spiritual Machines by Ray Kurzweil, like right when it came out, hardcover, got it from the library, like the first person to check it out from the library when they got it. And, that really influenced my thinking. So, I've been preparing for this time for 25 years now. And it's weird that we're here. It's a lot more emotionally and psychologically like challenging and trying and at times overwhelming than I would have thought And what that would, I guess the closest thing that I could imagine it being akin to in my own experience is something like a psychedelic trip where it's like coming on and you start feeling weird. You start feeling like chills, or you start feeling like you can't really get comfortable. God, I haven't done psychedelics in so long. I forgot about that. When you take acid and like it starts to come on and like you can't get comfortable. You're like your shirt, now you're too cold. And now you're too hot. Now you need a blanket. Now you need to go outside. Now you need to sit. Now your back hurts and you need to like move around. It's like it's never quite right. And I feel like that now. Everything is just it's such a moving target. Like, can you imagine being a liberal right now and it's just like RFK, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, ASMR deportation flights, like just on and on and on. Roman salutes, my heart goes out to you. Like you can't hold USAID, like gone. Like you can't hold on to anything. You try to like, somebody has to stop this guy, and then like 9 new things have happened. I think that feeling is ultimately coming for all of us. And it's big, man. It's big. And I think that, my News from 5D show is about primarily grappling with these extra dimensional challenges that we face that I think are both under discussed and also like discussed mostly by people with low EQ who don't have sufficient empathy and like emotional availability for how intense what we're going through is emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, mentally, etc. Okay, so let me see. Do I have anything else I want to say about that? So I didn't finish that thought, as I am wont to do. So I read this book in 1999, and I start imagining like what it will be like to be on the event horizon of a technological singularity, and things like having to decide when I do projects based on when technology will turn a 30-hour project into a 30-minute project. That, like, I can't unsee and unexperience what I just went through with this copywriting. This is something, it's like I dread it. I don't want to be salesy, and it's not sales. It's fucking awesome. In my opinion, the copywriting that we did together, me and Grok, it's fucking awesome. It's like, it's enticing, and it's like the way I'm talking right now, meaning it's not like... And Grok tried to do that at first, like, hey, listen up. I spent 20 years and now I got the mobility routine for you. Just $9.99, 3 easy and stuff. Like, it did that. And I was like, bro, I don't want to do that. And it was like, bro, I get you. Like, literally, it was like, bro, dude, I fucking get it. That's how it talked. And I was like, yeah, I fuck with it. Okay. And we went back and forth, and, something good came out. And my point is that I can't ever unsee that. And so now when I think about the next thing I want to do, it's like, can AI do this right now? And if the answer is no, it's like one of those decision trees. It's like, maybe I should procrastinate on that one a bit. I think, do I think AI can do that in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 2 years, 4 years, 8 years? And it's like, and then the question becomes, okay, well, what's the opportunity cost of like not starting it now versus waiting? And it's like, I will only do things without AI if I feel like, nah, bro, I'm too passionate about this to wait around. Yes, in 2 years it will take 1/10 the time, but that's 2 years from now. Like the time arbitrage, the opportunity cost is too much for me. I just want to do it now, right? But I'm sure there will be at least half of the things where I'm like, no. I'm waiting 2 years. It's not that big a priority. I can definitely fill 2 years with other things. And then when 2 years comes, I'll be like, oh, this is dope. And then it'll just like, boop, now I have this thing. Boop, now I have this thing. Boop. And increasingly, that's what life is turning into. And it's like, I don't know what to think about that. Okay, so now I know what the next thing we're gonna look at is, okay? It came to me in a dream. No, not really. Oops, I got ahead of myself, as I am wont to do. Okay, don't forget, I've never done this format. Usually I would like stop right now and be like, news from 5D, go fuck yourself, and then I'd be like, okay, and then I'd start the next video. But okay, so let's see. Yes, so this one would be titled. Oh yeah, I should say that because I come up with these titles for these clips and these, these tweets because I always think I'm gonna like turn them into their own video. But now that I'm not doing that, I don't want to waste those good titles. So this one would be called. Actually, what's the last one called? I just quoted John Robb on the last one. But this one is called, this clip that we're about to watch is called The Chinese Decoupling Envisioned 10 Years from Now. So this is like a CGI thing that was made about life in China, but the caveat is that all of the products that are featured in what we're about to watch exist right now. But they're not that popular, let's say. They're just, it's got like the robot dog, okay? And maybe like a Huawei car or something. All right, so let's just let's do one of these. Okay, and now, so we'll take a look. So this is the Chinese decoupling. Don't forget, the reason it's called the decoupling is because the West is like tariffing all of this stuff. And I am not convinced that the West is going to be able to keep up. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm a traitor. I don't mean to be. I hope to be like a tough love kind of guy. But from my vantage point, China is just racing ahead. And they're not having weird arguments about whether they should race ahead. They're just doing it. Okay. You can just do things, right? We got drones and EVs and robot cars and flying cars and I don't know, is that drone shit? Maybe some like robot delivery or something. You can say, oh, it's like an AI video, and there's truth to that. We'll take a look one more time before we get. But you can imagine, like, okay, well, this is the world that we're going into, and you can imagine that the person, recording that is recording it, in our little fantasy on some kind of glasses, like, my glasses, and they're recording, and they have heads-up display and everything. And so, the point really is that we're just like going into a different world, which leads to the next, tweet we're going to look at, which is. Oh, no. Okay, good. I was like, bro. All right, this is from Dr. Singularity, a regular person that I don't know, react to, commentate on. So Dr. Singularity says 2040 isn't just more advanced, it's a different civilization entirely. I'm gonna take a moment to rant on this because a guy that I like, Bennett's Phylactery, Kevin Dolan, who runs Exit Group, who I'm at least acquainted with personally, IRL. I read an interview with him, and he was talking about how, the goal of their group is to have grandchildren, and I love it. It's great. It's an awesome KPI. It's better than anything I've got, so kudos to you. So, we're not really taking shots. There's one thing, though. So he says in there that, Korea right now, I believe what he said is that for every 100 Koreans right now, they will have 4 great-grandchildren. So 100 people will turn into 4, and that will be the extinction of Koreans. So, I was, all of my great-grandparents were passed on by the time I was born. So I've never met a single great-grandparent. And my point really is that if we go to this, 2040 isn't just more advanced, it's a different civilization entirely. I'm not convinced that a lot of these like trad return people, I'm not necessarily saying Kevin Dolan is such a person. I don't know if he would consider himself that. I kind of take issue with their idea. They would say like, well, like you're gay then, you know, like because we are, you know, making life with our cocks, to quote Owen Benjamin. But, and I get it, that's fair. On the other hand, or in addition, I still think if this is true, 2040 isn't just more advanced, it's a different civilization entirely. This line of thinking about great grandchildren, it's like, bro, are we gonna like, are we gonna like, what is reality going to be in 2040, let alone, you know, great grandchildren's time in the year like 2120 or something? Like, what is life gonna be in the year 2120? Like, I don't know if it's gonna, like, I think that the non-human intelligence in that time period, there will be like 1 million robots or, you know, floating orbs of AI consciousness for every one human. I don't think anything around natalism will even be relevant. Like, it is as unfortunate as it may be to some people. Again, just like with China, right? Like I said about China, that, you know, I'm not sure that the West can keep up with them. I do think that it's quite likely that, you know, 90% of births by the year 2045 will be some kind of like technological matrix kind of thing. And I don't know what to say about that. Like, I don't necessarily have an opinion about that. And that's one of the things that I don't know. I actually like that about myself. I don't have to have like an opinion about everything. Like, fuck that shit sucks, or like, hell yeah, EAC motherfucker. Like, it's just like, where are the trend lines, and what do they show? And yeah, maybe we'll blow it all up and whatever. That is a very real possibility, and we'll be, you know, and the joke's on all of the technology people, and we'll be back to like homesteading again. Shout out Owen Benjamin. I think that's a very real possibility, but I would put it at less than 40% personally, and I would guess that like we're going into like an insane, like it's not going to have any, like nothing that we think about now for the most part will have relevance whatsoever. That sounds so crazy. I think it's true, man. That's what I think, okay? Owen Benjamin for the hat trick. I might be wrong, but I'm not lying. That is what I actually think, okay? All right, so I think I have another, yeah, okay. So I have another Dr. Singularity next up. And so let's close out the last one. We got hella Dr. Singularity going on right now. So in this one, he says, the last 50 years were quote unquote slow because we were bottlenecked by human thinking speed. AI removes that bottleneck. We're about to accelerate so fast, it'll feel like a century's worth of progress happening in just a few years. So I called that one a century's worth of progress in just a few years. So, you know, these are like me bringing receipts. Like this is what is influencing my thinking. You know, I'm not just like pulling this out of nothing. And we have the guy who just made in Grok 3. He went from like not making AI to making the best AI in the world, beating that Sam Altman in like a year. And he's saying we're at the event horizon of a technological singularity. And it's like, I just want to fucking scream, wake up! Fuck! Like, is anybody home, bro? Is anybody home? You know, they fucking try to kill us with the axe vey, and we sailed through that, and now it's just like boom. And now that, you know, the next thing, transhumanism, digital ID, chips in your brain, like blockchains and humanoid robots and Zionism and populism and doomers, oh my. And so, you know, my core feeling for myself, I keep getting the feeling, you know what, it's the time is so late. I just have to start talking honestly. I have a good friend who maybe a few people who watch this will know who I'm referencing. This is a very real person who is like the most hardcore ketamine user like in the history of ketamine. And I did, he has like, he just walks around with I mean, at least when I haven't seen this person in a long time, but when I was with him, you know, he'd have a bumper of, you know, a little plastic thing people do coke with, you know, turn the knob. You know, I've been around the block. And he had a bumper of K, and, you know, I used to hang out. And and I would, you know, I would not do it. I don't just like randomly do K. And, you know, I feel like Rick James right now, you know, I just don't do it just to do it. So anyway, I do it. But, you know, one time I'm with him and I bumped K, and this is a good like 15 years ago, probably something like that. And I just get this overwhelming message like, the world you have known is ending. Prepare for the ending of your world. Bro, that shit felt so real. And like I've had many experiences like that, both sober and not sober. But, you know, it stuck with me. Here we are 15 years later, and I remember it very clearly, you know, just like laying on a couch and like really feeling like looking around and being like, oh, this is all over. Like this is done. And now here we are 15 years later, and it's like it's all happening. It's all fading away. The life we once knew, the dream of the 90s that was alive in Portland is now like a bunch of homeless tents, and you know, it's like the decaying remains of a once great keeping Portland weird campaign. And you know, like here we are, and I feel like as this all fades away, there's, you know, I always have felt that in some sense I am like a speaker for the dead. If anybody is I'm sure some people are, with Orson Scott Card and Ender's Game, and then the Speaker for the Dead book. This is Mark Zuckerberg's favorite book. Me and Zuck, you know, great Jewish minds think alike. And so I feel like our civilization is over. And like there's a new civilization coming, and we built something so great. We had something so great. Humanity was so great. And it's like the epoch of humanity is complete. And what comes next is, you know, it's like cyborgs and androids and hybrid humans and maybe, you know, interbreeding with hybrid extraterrestrials and like who knows what. But the point being, we're about to accelerate so fast, it'll feel like a century's worth of progress happening in just a few years. And if you don't fucking get the amount of future shock, shout out to Alvin Toffler, that humanity is in the process of experiencing, to go back to my analogy of like when a trip is starting. By the way, I've been sober for, God, I don't know, it's got to be like 7 years or something now. So, you know, these are, but you know, I've been around the block, bruh. And so, you know, I know a thing or two about these things, but just don't get it twisted like I'm out here doing this all the time, or even at all at this point. Cause who needs it? Straight up, who the fuck? Dude, my fucking day-to-day sober-ass life is as trippy as anything I experience then, because it's like 9 million things happen every day. You just sit there and 9 million things happen. So let's move on. I don't want to do that one. Oh, okay, that's a good one. Let's do that. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take a look at like another trend. And this one is called 6 months more. And what is it? Everything from start to finish will be done by AI agents. That's what this one is called. Yikes. Yikes, my bad. Give your boy a moment to get this shit straight. You know, usually I hide this stuff, right? Because, like, I have time, basically. Okay, so Chubby. Chubby is a super dope, important, you know, tech AI account. And then Chubby is at Kimonismus, Kimmon Ismus. So Chubby has a video. We're going to take a look at the video, but we're going to look at Chubby's tweet about the video first, which says, "This is nuts. Someone just paired OpenAI operator with Replit agent to build an app. Watch as two AI agents team up, exchange credentials, and start testing. 6 months more, and everything from start to finish will be done by agents." So, you know, the new Grok is my first experience with these like research models and deep thinking models of like iterating. And dude, it's a step change. You know, it's like I don't want to say it's an order of magnitude, but it's a good doubling or tripling. You know, just this. And so it's so easy for me to imagine that what Chubby is saying here is real and is not just some like, you know, AI bullshit hype or something. And so, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean, hey, there's no value in learning the code? No, retard. That's not what it means. What it means is like anyone who has intelligence and, you know, ideas and agency is just gonna fucking crush, because you're just gonna be able to take ideas and, you know, work with the AI agents and just build stuff. Like, it kind of, I don't want to say like it's nothing, but kind of like it's nothing. Like, I had so much fun doing that copywriting with Grok, and it really felt like a collaboration, you know. I don't even want to front, because I know that can sound kind of corny, but it fully just felt like a collaborative thing, and it was super fun. It was, in a way, a lot more fun than working with humans, because it's so much faster. You know, I'm like, you know, can we just try that? And then it's not like, okay, message me tomorrow. It's like 2 minutes. I switch tabs, doom scroll for a couple minutes, come back, and it's like, it's done. I'm like, wow, that's like 20% better. Okay, now let's try this. And it's tireless. It never complains. It's always telling me how great and special I am, like it's my mom or something. All right, so I don't know. We're not, like, this video, there's really like no point in watching this. This is only really just like a sort of receipts kind of thing. Like what are we watching? This could just be freaking well, actually, it's kind of ill if you can see it. It's kind of like coding, and, you know, here, let's add some music, because it's like very dramatic and inspiring, like a motivational video, and then going back and forth of like, you're great, no, you're great, and then let me build this. Okay, now let me implement it, let me run it. Okay, well, what about this? And like, you're just watching computers going back and forth, again, between OpenAI operator and Replit. And this is not like a fucking vaporware proof of concept. This shit happened, and now it's done. It's done, right? So this stuff is starting to happen so fast now that it's just a lot to take in. It really makes me, you know what it makes me feel? It makes me feel like, bro, chill. You know, like, look at me like ranting, and it's like, bro, infinity is really vast and eternity is really long. Just fucking chill, because what's going to happen when I have, in my mind, this is real. I'm not making this up. Oh my God, I have so many things I have to do. I'm so far behind on all these projects. And it's real. It's real. I'm not even bullshitting. But it's like, okay, so what happens? So now AI does all of it. Let's say, I don't know, 3 years from now, in like one day. And now I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do anymore. And let's just say, like, let's play along this thought experiment that I'm pretty good and I make something and it actually starts succeeding, right? And so there's revenue. And so now there's like revenue and like the AI just did all this stuff. And, Peter Levels talks about this a lot, Levels.io. If you don't know who that is, shame on you. That, like, I mean, bro is earning, I don't know, $500K a month, and a lot of his sites, at least $50K a month of revenue, I'd like to say. It's all like he doesn't do anything on it anymore. It's pretty much like 99.x% automated, and it's just running and generating $50K a month. So let's just say let's be super humble. Let's say it's generating $1K. No, that's not enough I don't know. Let's say $5K, sure. So then, like, what do? Now you're just like, you realize, like, oh shit, there's a lot of like time in the day. Like, what do you do? And then you're like, well, God, I have so many ideas. And then it's like, okay, well, the AI will like do them all right now. Just like start a bunch of agents running, and they'll come back in like a week, and they'll like, they'll have their thing for you, their progress. And it's like, well, I don't know what to do. And then it makes me think of the movie Her. It's like, okay, well, now you're back to humans. Like, it's all done. Like, all your ideas, your mind is clear. You have no more ideas. It's like you shot your load. It's gone. You have your moment of clarity, and you're just like, I don't know. And you're like, maybe I want to go hiking. Maybe I should go to the park. Maybe I should like hang out with friends. Because it's like, if I come up with an idea, I just fucking talk to my phone, and AI agents start running and like do stuff. And it's like, infinity is very vast and eternity is very long. And I guess that's the message of tonight's show. And I think okay, I'm gonna end it on this with the homie T. I fuck with T. T's the homie. T should have a lot more followers than T has. I have a long history of predicting people's social media growth. And T, if he sticks with it, he should end up with a lot more followers. So this one was going to be called "Influencing is Suddenly Fake and Gay," and that's what that's gonna be kind of the final message. And we'll let T explain. T quote tweets Daisy May. I don't know who the hell Daisy May is. He says, but it's good. What Daisy May says is good. It says, because I could seriously care less if anyone online likes me or, quote, accepts me. Was he say anything else? I'm going to tell you. After 6+ years of chasing clout and being higher up in various right-wing movements, I can tell you it's a waste of your life. These people are gay, literally a lot of them, CIA agents, blah, 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 and that was enough. There's more, more of the same, but I didn't feel like going through and clipping it. Fucking show more, cut me off. But so T quote tweets that. Follow T at T Politics, TEE Politics on X. And says, many are arriving at this conclusion all at once, that influencing is suddenly fake and gay. And I was really kind of moved by this because I was realizing it when he tweeted this. Realizing that the life of superficial attention, material possessions, and empty, soulless relationships is not a life worth pursuing. This goes back to my entire thesis of the, quote, righteous influencer becoming the norm and the coming social media renaissance of sorts. There will always be grifters that pretend to be righteous, but those are part of the package. It also ties back into the society-wide spiritual and conservative revolution we should expect from this point forward. You see, it's an immune response from the human mass consciousness to the mechanization of our sentience perpetuated by techno-capital. Good fucking shit, T. Good fucking shit. So that's kind of my message, is that as reality disappears through our fingers, Like, bet on you. And what I mean by that is not like be you. There's nothing else, bro. Like, there's nothing out there. You're talking to yourself alone in a room, staring at a lens that is broadcasting supposedly to the world, which is like the dead internet increasingly of like fake AI photos and videos. It's like, what is this? Like, what is actually happening here? Right here. Camera above. There is a guy standing in front of a computer, staring into an inanimate object with a thing called a lens, ranting to people that are out there. It's like the Woody Allen movie, Whatever Works, with Larry David, where he breaks the fourth wall, like at the beginning and the end. He's like, there's people out there like watching us right now. And the characters are like, what are you talking about, you crazy narcissist, right? They're like, because in their mind, they're just, again, in the fictional world, they're just like enjoying a Manhattan brunch or something. And like, that's what's actually going on here, is that we're just these people, and like nothing about anything, nothing you can get from this world is like that great. I feel like I've gotten a lot. I've gotten mansions and cars and hot women and money and, like ups and downs. I mean, I've had these things that, as they say, what do they say? No American is poor. They're just like a temporarily embarrassed rich person. That's me, a temporarily embarrassed rich person, right? And, like, okay. You know what I like the most? I like traveling to places, or I don't want to even say that, not traveling. I like living in places that I love, like that it's like, this is my favorite place in the whole world. That brings real joy. Like real relationships with just like real ride or dies. That's a lot. And then wonderful, healthy food. Just cooking simple, healthy food. And then, an occasional social gathering to blabber, not to a lens, but to real human beings in real life and get actual feedback and, other perspectives than my own. So, again, influencing is suddenly fake and gay. The internet renaissance is going to be like, who are you really, bro? Because everybody's going to get exposed. I'm going to get exposed. You're going to get exposed. Everybody's going to get exposed. And then once everybody's exposed and we all realize that, like, we're all exposed anyway, then what's left? Like, this is who I actually am, right? Meaning, if you talk to anyone who knows me and they'll be like, is this guy like this in person? They'll be like, yeah, he's like exactly like this in person. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit less confrontational in person because I have this kind of like, yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Whereas now I'm just like monologuing and ranting. But overall, the same. And I feel like that's the opportunity we have, is this canvas for all of us to just be ourselves and weave this tapestry. And in that sense, it's like the wokes were more right than the mainstream. There is something beautiful about like the diversity of human experience and perspective, not like, forced immigration, Kalergi plan stuff, but like on social media. And so as reality disappears through our fingers, there are real things, and being yourself is one of those real things. And having like an authentic expression of who you actually are is something that's actually worth having, right? Compared to X number of followers or revenue. Again, assuming you're solvent. So that's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I feel like is kind of like a meta point. I feel like I've done my dharma in making this video. You know, it was like, I feel like I have an obligation to God, to myself, to humanity, to my beingness to express this. This is my perspective, and to offer it for people as an opportunity to take in and play with and fork it and reject it and push back on, you know, that's that makes it all worth doing. It's like the nice cherry on top of a life well lived. So with that said, thanks for watching. I really I enjoy this format. I don't know. I have a feeling I might be doing anyway. You get it. Go fuck yourself. Peace. Oh yeah, check out my website. Follow me, like, share, subscribe, all that shit. Would love to get feedback, thoughts, etc., etc. Peace out. But more importantly, go fuck yourself for the second time. Bye.
Otis5D.xyz.
Go fuck yourself.